They say pain breaks people. But for me, pain was my first teacher. I remember the moment that line became my truth. I was 14 years old, staring through the cracked window of a one-room apartment that reeked of damp walls and broken dreams. My mother had just left, again. Said she needed space, but I knew what that meant. Another escape, another bottle, another night lost in the fog of addiction. And there I was. Alone. Again. But let me rewind a bit, because this story isn't just about pain, it's about purpose. It's about the journey from rock bottom to rising. And maybe, just maybe, it's about you too. Chapter 1, The Noise Inside Silence. We lived in the rough part of the city. Not just physically rough, emotionally brutal. You could hear screams echo through the thin walls every other night. Some were from arguments. Some, from silence that had turned into madness. At school, I wasn't the kid anyone noticed. Not smart enough to be a nerd, not cool enough to be popular. Just, there. Invisible. My father? He left before I could walk. My mom? She tried, God bless her, but pain had turned her into someone I didn't recognize. And me? I had questions no one would answer. Why us? Why do some people get warm homes and safe beds, and we get leftovers from a shelter? No answers. Just the noise inside silence. But that silence, it started to speak. Slowly. Harshly. It said, "Get up. No one's coming to save you. It's either sink or swim." That was pain talking. Teaching me discipline before I even knew what it meant. Chapter 2, Running from Ghosts. I ran. Not literally at first, I mean emotionally. From friendships, from hope, from teachers who said, "You have potential." I didn't believe them. Because how could potential exist in someone broken? But then something strange happened. I met Mr. Reyes, a janitor at our school. He was different. Not the kind of adult who pretended to care, he did care. Every morning he'd nod at me. One day he said, "You're not fooling me, kid. That mask you wear, I see the cracks." I don't know why, but those words stuck. He started talking to me during lunch breaks. Told me about his past, how he was once homeless too. Addicted. Broken. But then he found his why. "You know what changed everything for me?" he said one day. "The moment I stopped asking why me, and started asking what now. I didn't say anything. But something inside stirred. Chapter 3, The Fire in the Mirror. I started waking up earlier. Reading. Writing. I found an old notebook and filled it with every thought I was too afraid to say out loud. I'm not worthless. I want to be seen. I want to matter. Every morning I wrote those words like a prayer. Like a declaration. Until one day, I believed them. Pain hadn't left, not yet. But it was no longer my jailer. It had become my coach. But the biggest test came when my mom got arrested. I came home and saw her sitting on the curb, handcuffed, crying. For the first time, she looked like the child. And I had to become the adult. I remember sitting alone that night. Staring in the cracked mirror. I whispered. I don't know how, but this will not be the end of me. This pain has taught me. Now I need to graduate. Chapter 4, Purpose Finds Me. It wasn't overnight. It never is. I worked after school at a diner. Studied during breaks. Failed sometimes. Wanted to quit many times. But every time I did, I heard Mr. Reyes's voice, "What now?" Eventually, I got into community college. The first in my family to ever go. Not a big university. Not some Ivy League. But to me, It was everything. You know the craziest part? I majored in psychology. Because I wanted to understand pain, not just mine, but others. I wanted to turn my mess into a message. My wounds into wisdom. I started volunteering at shelters. Talking to teens who were just like I used to be. Scared. Angry. Numb. One of them, a 13-year-old girl named Jada, once asked me, "How do you survive the nights?" And I told her the truth. You stop surviving them. And you start facing them. That's how the sun comes back. Chapter 5, Graduation Day. Years passed. I walked across a stage in a cheap rented gown, with a smile on my face and tears in my eyes. My mother sat in the front row. Sober. Clapping. She had gotten help. Maybe because she saw me trying, she believed she could try too. Mr. Reyes was there too. He hugged me and said, "Told you that mask would fall off someday." But it wasn't the diploma that made me cry that day. It was the realization that I had turned pain into purpose. That the same streets that once felt like prison walls had become the roots of my strength. Epilogue, the real lesson. I now speak in schools. I share my story not because I want applause, but because someone out there, maybe you, needs to hear this. Pain is not your enemy. It's your introduction to who you really are. Purpose is waiting on the other side. Not in the perfect life, but in the broken pieces you learn to hold with pride. If you're watching this, still breathing, still standing, no matter how messed up your story is right now, you're not done. You're just getting started. Because pain was your first teacher. And trust me, purpose will be your graduation. This is your reminder that the darkest nights produce the brightest stars. Keep going. Your story isn't over, it's only beginning. Glowing star.